This is Divine Sunshine. I'm going to get on here like real super duper quick. I had a thought about like afterthought after I had did the episode with about confessions of a divine feminine in a karmic situation, which I call karmic relationship, recovering from it. I pretty much had thought about how in some ways the title of this one is how we have like patterns of love acting as a ticker tape underneath, even though we're going into this twin flame journey. One thing is I know a lot of times when you see the ticker tape underneath like news media, especially like CNN, telling you things, and you got the little ticker tape down at the bottom, and you see from time to time myself use that for the playground experience, and we had that ticker tape, and then sometimes I have it on and I forget and we just talking at the end, even when we're finished with doing production, and I'm still saying, still talking, and we're conversing, and then all of a sudden my eyes drop down and look and see, and seeing that thing going around and around in a continuous loop. One thing as far as us, when we're trying to go on this twin flame journey or adventure, understanding, just like as Kathy D says about that coffee pot and getting the last parts of it as we truly get into August, where we get ready to start for the fireworks, really things popping off, things really jumping off. As far as this, and the fireworks is really coming up in all different kind of things. Fireworks, things popping off and jumping off and going off and explosively within us to really give that last push. I'm seeing them showing me like a building where they use explosives to implode from the inside out. These buildings, and this is what's kind of happening now. We got some things that really underline this going on that we have forgotten. There's like a ticker tape of things, and especially when it comes to love, this is what I'm being guided to, understanding that the things that is occurring and happening for love, that we truly, like I said in a couple of episodes before about the trigger warning of having our heart to actually be light, we've got to get lighten up that load. Some of these things ain't like the 16 bags of hefty bags that we've been dragging around that we're used to. These are some things that really have been like a stone, or like a, sometimes, you know, you have your clothes and you've forgotten you left money in your pocket. I do that all the time. And I'm like, oh, it is $20 bill. I stuffed it in there and I forgot. Or some like a pebble in a shoe, or like almost like they're saying about grief. Sometimes you leave something like a rock or something in your pocket, and you leave that for a long time, period of time, so you forget that it's there until you put your hand in, and then you're like, oh, that's there. The incident about me doing the confessions of a recovering divine feminine from a karmic situation, really seeing about these patterns as far as when we're talking about love too. And how I was even looking back and seeing me on a video, and I was like, you know, that's a pattern too in love. You're kind of picking also some of them the same type of men too. And that's another thing that's got to kind of be looked at. Am I still looking at this same type of cookie cutter of a template of a person to walk in my life, or am I attracting that same types of incidents and events that kind of occur too as well? Those are the things that they really want you to start taking introspection of, and really looking at the patterns. And I guess that's almost like this underlining that's going on over and over again, that without you knowing, that default setting that's going on that you don't know, that you got to go in there and reprogram. That's something that we have now have to really take a look at. This is really time to seriously think. So if you have not been in communications or thinking with your divine counterpart or anything like this is really the time. Vice versa, they're thinking, I can tell you that on their end, they're going through some things while you're going through some things. Right now we're kind of cocooning as well on some things, and this is what's being brought to me. That's why a lot of us feel that stillness, or we haven't had any kind of 5D communications from our other part, of we can't feel, we can't really judge, we can't really gauge where there are some of us is because right now it's some things, it's like this self-cocooning process. I think about David, and David was like, I'm going to wrap you. We did a healing session where he said, I'm going to wrap you up in a golden blanket. And that's what we're doing right now. We're really trying to heal these hurts, these things that have happened over the years, because again, we can't take that with us, and we really got to kind of get rid of those bad habitual things. Like they said, this is superstitious thinking, the black cats that I always see in the cars that keeps on playing. If I do this, this actually happens. And really truly be able to stand for in our foundation and grow roots in something that we really truly stand for in our truth of who our being and where we want to actually go. This is where we are at. But it was just really saying about these patterns again, and how we are really, when we're asking for this new love, that's why I say be careful. Watch as far as where are you asking for this new love. You want the new love, but you don't want your divine counterpart to come back the same way. And this is what we're talking about when some people use that as an option, as a new love too, is that you want the divine masculine to come back different. You want to start with a clean slate. Some of you all that said, again, if that is something that you're open to, as well as a new love period as well. Some of you all, I think that when you all do that, is because, again, you're kind of like my friend that said, you're settling. You don't want to go after what you actually want. There's a scared and vulnerability that you're not really ready to go into. That you really want to say, okay, I do want this person, although they haven't been acting correctly. And at that time you say, I sound like a fool. Why would I want this person if they did X, Y, and Z? And you still have to go ahead with that, let's say, fiber or that tenacity and say, I'm going to do it because, again, within your heart that is truly your heart's desire beyond the fear that's even presenting themselves. Now, that's not everybody's story. That's some people's story. But I'm just saying that's just another slant and a twist to it that I'm seeing as well from those of you all that say they want to just start all over again with somebody new. Now, if that's what also has been directed to you, that's fine. And I'm not knocking your hustle, as I always say. However, again, if truly within your heart space you're selling yourself, and truly that in your heart's desire you still want that person, and you can't see yourself moving on and really actually being somebody else, you're just saying that because you selling yourself short, or you're playing yourself small, which just came out in several cards here about that, then I would say just sit. Just wait until you are able to make a sure move as to what is, and start working on getting that ticker taper that runs at the bottom of your screen out of it, so that you could really clear, because you could go out and get a new person. And if that ticker taper is still going on down at the bottom of your screen, it's going to do it with the new person. It's going to do it with the new person. It's going to go do it with the new person, and then so on and so forth. And so that's why we've got to handle that default setting that's happening underneath there. And that's why some of us, maybe like myself, are being asked to actually, let's go and handle that, because secretly some of us are still doing that duality, serving two gods or serving two loves at the same time. And you haven't really said, okay, let's really get rid of that part of, if we want a new love, we can't be having no three menage a trois on top of that. It's like really what's going on. And a lot of times it's not, we can't keep on continuously look at and say it's them. It's time for us to take it away and now turn around and look at yourself. You cannot deny and blame it all on saying it's the DM. We got to really start confessing to ourselves that we got some DM tendencies within ourselves, and some of us are in denial about that. That's why I said about us being the karmic. We have some karmic things. Sometimes we are the karmics to ourselves. Now, some of you all, I don't understand with the thumbs down or whatever it is that is. Every time I mention about that, we being karmics, and I don't understand why you don't understand that, and I really don't. And Again, karma is lessons. That means you are a person, if you're a karmic, you're a person who's in a life lesson. What's the issue about that? I'm not even really understanding that every time I mention that. We all in it. This is Earth. Earth is a teachable planet. That means you're going, if this is a teachable planet, that means you're going to get lessons everywhere you turn. So I really don't even understand that. That tells me where your growth is. So do whatever you want to, but all that does thumb down is to make my ratings and for me to be more seen. Okay? Again, that's all it is on you. Again, we are karma is lessons. Karmics means a person who is going through a lesson. So I'm not really understanding the difference of that. So people, I'm getting off. Go through and see about how you can change that ticker tape. What is your ticker tape saying? Ticker tape needs to be changed there. That's why I say about affirmations. That goes into your subconscious. You got that firewall that won't let you go past that to change the lesson or the script that's underrunning and undermining everything that's going on. It's time for us to really kind of go in there and start unearthing those actual things that really serve no longer purpose in our lives. And this is the time to do it, because a lot of us, we're getting ready to give birth to our unions, rather it's union with self, union with the DM, or union with your mission. And this is something that you've got to really be honest with yourself. And some of us are still in denial, and some of us are actually still lying to ourselves about what's got to actually be fixed. Once you're able to take time out and start to actually look in the mirror and really actually see, okay, what's going on with me, the mirror, like I'm gonna bring it to you here, the mirror, and you actually see yourself doing the thing here, the mirror, here looking at things, then you could be able to, I'll do it this way, then you could be able to see the mirror is a big thing. I thank Diana for telling us to get mirrors. I use this all the time to be able to look at myself. And so this is one way. Again, you need to look at that, have that mirror exercise, and look at yourself and see what is it that you need to be doing. And you can't be denied. You can't lie to yourself, because yourself sees everything. All right then. As always, stay uplifted, stay motivated, stay ascended. Namaste, namago. Love you.